Watch and burn.
Hey everybody. So tonight I am just wondering, what's Julian's story? This is another question, like a long-standing question I've had in regards to the Trailer Park Boys. It's one of those questions that I don't think we'll ever have answered. The same, we have a bit of backstory on Bubbles. We know his dad liked to shoot his mouth off down at the Legion, which forced him and his mom, because of Bubbles' dad's gambling debts as well, that they had to leave Bubbles behind. They told, I believe it was Miss Peterson, to look in on Bubbles, and then they had to hit the road, and we find out a little more about them in Don't Legalize It, because they leave Bubbles the bus house. Ricky, of course, is the only character in the show that actually has a last name. His name is LaFleur, which, of course, was later changed to Flower, because as we found out in season 11, that Ray got tired of being called Poutine Lips and shit, so he said, fuck this, frog legs and all that. He changed it to Ray Flower, so Ricky's last name is Flower. And we do know the most about Ricky because Ray, his father, is in the show, even though his mom, who's apparently a massive whore, some chick by the name of Tammy, she's mentioned a bunch, but we don't really know anything about her. But again, it does still sort of go a long way to solidify Ricky's overall family unit. Like, we know his mom's name's Tammy, his dad's name's Ray, and his dad, Ray, was in like a huge chunk of the original show. He ducked out before the comeback seasons, of course. But Julian, we know nothing about Julian. When I think about Julian, I always think about Halloween 1977. You know, the night that they wrecked Leahy's career on the police force. Who helped Julian make his Chewbacca costume? You know? How was Julian sourcing liquor at this point? Where was Julian living? Much like I always wonder about Corey and Trevor, where they come from and where they live. Like, what's that trailer that they're constantly being interviewed in early on in the show? You know, like, for example, the episode when they steal all the shit to open up the nightclub at J-Rock's place. Where's that trailer that they're living in? Because they're not living with Sarah yet in the supervisor's trailer. So where do Corey and Trevor live? But I've already made a video about that. But Julian, you know, how did he get the costume made? Where was he living back when he was a kid? I know that Miss Peterson is his grandmother, but she isn't his grandmother. She's under the impression that she is, and Julian's really nice about it, and he treats her like she's his grandmother. And Bubbles has made references to how, if you think Julian's drinking's bad, you should see his grandmother. Why do you think the old New Yorker looks like that? She used to drive around here all fucked up on liquor. And so, did Julian live with his grandmother? But then I thought he'd only been doing that for about a decade or so. So where did Julian live when he was a kid? And what's Julian's family situation? On the podcast a handful of times, he says how, like, when they're making fun of his mother, calling her a whore and whatnot, he says, like, I haven't seen my mom in years. I don't know what she's doing, one way or the other. And then, where's the other references to? Oh, yes, that's right. Julian makes the fake plea to Leahy in order to get back into Ricky's good graces in season 11 after him and Bubbles send the bottle kids out to make Leahy bleed so that they can check his DNA. And he's like, I'm just really jealous, man. He's like, I never had a father, and now Ricky's got two, and blah, 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 which I know is just a ruse because Julian doesn't give a fuck and Julian doesn't trust Leahy. But nevertheless, he says he never had a father. So where is Julian's dad? What is going on with Julian's family situation? I've always wondered this, and maybe wondering about this in June 2024 is a little late, but I watch the Trailer Park Boys like every day, so they're always on my mind. I'm going to get out of here because that is fun lightning, but I know it's going to start to pour. So thank you so much for hanging out with me oh, there it is. My light just died. Awesome. Perfect timing. I'm just going to quickly charge this one up, do this. So thank you so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes while I discussed what's the deal with Julian and his family situation on the Trailer Park Boys. I'm getting out of here because now I'm being eaten alive by mosquitoes. Have a good night.